Roland, I had said last week it would be interesting to see what happened to a player that wasn't a franchise player, like Greg Hardy in North Carolina. We found out if you are on the second team, you are immediately treated the way any of us outside of the NFL would be treated if we were accused of such charges.
Well, in fact, Chris Rainey was he's on the practice squad. When the media began to question the Arizona Cardinals head coach about him and his past domestic violence, he was cut within an hour. Now, they tried to explain he was cut down. He wasn't recently arrested. He was not. Again, I'm not excusing anything that he did, but after being questioned, within 1 hour, he was cut from the practice squad. But, Joe, it was also very interesting. 20 minutes ago, I was watching ESPN. They were showing highlights of U.S. women's soccer team and lauding Hope Solo. She goes on trial in November for assaulting her sister, assaulting her nephew. But it's interesting, there was no mention about that. So if domestic violence is a national issue, should we not be questioning why Hope Solo is still playing on the women's soccer team, and Nike dropped Adrian Peterson, has said nothing about Hope Solo? So it's interesting how we have different views about domestic violence.
I'm a little skeptical about that. Look, that's one example of a woman beating another woman, with countless examples of men beating women.
No, Caddy.
Different now. Of course.
1 second.
In this instance, Hope Solo should have had the same kind of retribution that the men are having. But let's not try and use that as an example to suggest that women are as guilty of domestic violence against their partners as men are, because it is overwhelmingly
Caddy, I know that.
Well, let Roland talk. Roland?
I've been covering this issue. I've had to deal with domestic violence in my own family, taking in 2 young girls. So I am never silent on this. But I'm making the point that if we're saying domestic violence is a national issue, and it is, we must be vigilant across the board. The same thing with Alabama Judge Mark Fuller. What I'm saying is we've spent a lot of attention focused on the NFL, but when there are other cases, it's sort of a different standard. There should be one standard.
We want to talk about the Alabama judge. Claire McCaskill brought this judge up a couple of days ago, and I wanted to get you on to talk a little bit more about that. We're going to be doing that in the blocks coming up, because that, Mika, that will be one thing that could come out of this horrible episode in the NFL if everybody that has been accused and shown to have beaten their wives or their children, you know, feel the hot glare.
I think a month ago this Dwyer story would have been dealt with differently. I really do. Now it's like done.